The purpose of this presentation is to identify the work that the Department of Transportation is studying along the Route 36 corridor within the city of Hornell, town of Hornellsville, and the village of North Hornell. Our goal with this presentation is to outline what Department of Transportation engineers have studied so far and to solicit feedback from the community. This project is being managed by the New York State Department of Transportation and will likely use state and federal money as part of any improvement. Our partner on the federal level is the Federal Highway Administration. At the end of this presentation, there will be the opportunity for you to provide responses and feedback to us in an email format so that we can ensure that we are addressing the community's concerns. By the end of this meeting, we will have discussed the current conditions along the corridor, what NYSDOT engineers have studied thus far for the future of the corridor, the objectives the Department of Transportation is hoping to achieve through a corridor enhancement, next steps in the process. As a resident of our community and viewer of this presentation, your feedback is appreciated. Be thinking to yourself, would these ideas improve the corridor as the community sees fit? Or would these ideas remove a positive characteristic of our community that motorists embrace? The key to this early outreach is to hear from you, which is why we want to remind the community that this meeting is a listening opportunity for NYSDOT. Route 36 is a critical corridor within our community, and we believe there are opportunities for enhancements, but nothing has been decided, nor will anything be decided by the end of this presentation. The goal here is simply to inform and listen to your input.
The limits of the project that we are looking at start at the south end of Arkport, where the road changes from a 4-lane facility to a 2-lane facility. It ends at the railroad bridge just south of the Cass and Elm Street intersection, adjacent to Hornell Police and Fire stations. The existing Route 36 corridor was built in the early 1970s as part of the Route 17 highway construction. The goal at the time was to get traffic to the city of Hornell and eventually south to the village of Canisteo as quickly as possible. The road was designed with wide medians and limited access points. At that time, roads like these did not consider non-motorized users such as bikes and pedestrians. In the 1980s and 90s, commercial development occurred along the corridor where we now see Lowe's, Walmart, and Wegmans. Industrial changes at Bethesda and Mercy Care, as well as industrial changes from the railroad and subway industry, impacted development downtown and at Shawmut Park, also known as Michael Fucci Memorial Park. These changes affected safety along the corridor and required speed limit reductions, additional signal installations, and new turning lanes. And these changes introduced an increase in non-vehicular traffic. The Route 36 corridor sees about 13,000 vehicles each day across the 10 intersections. In order to identify opportunities for improvement, we studied traffic volumes at each of these intersections. The busiest of these intersections is where Route 36 meets with Bethesda Drive at the plaza where Walmart and Wegmans are located. For context, during the afternoon commute, there are roughly equal amounts of motorists entering the plaza as there are continuing north along Route 36. This is a key improvement opportunity along the corridor and helps guide DOT engineers when considering turning lanes, signals, and other enhancements. The Route 36 corridor is comprised of 3 different characteristic types. Within the city, Route 36 has an urban feel with closed drainage, paved medians, and buildings near the roadway. Vehicular traffic operates at lower speeds. Pedestrians are more common along this stretch of the corridor. The north end of the project is a rural feel with high-speed, wide-open roadways, wide grass medians, and access to the interstate. And in the middle of these two is what we are calling the suburban or transition area. This is where the high-speed rural roadway is transitioned to the low-speed urban one. There are some pedestrians and bicyclists. The speed limit is reduced and major intersections are in place. The urban section for this project is easily defined as Cass and Elm Street to Adsit Street. The existing corridor is 4 lanes with raised medians, turning lanes, and signalized intersections. Pedestrian access is limited. As you can see on the graphic, with the north end being at the right-hand side of the photo, this section passes by the intermediate and high school. It includes east-west crossing of the arterial at defined locations like Canacadea Creek. All 5 intersections are controlled by a traffic signal. This view in front of Hornell High School shows a grass median adjacent to the roadway. Note that there is no pedestrian access in this section. All pedestrians are expected to use the city street system, which has limited access points. The rural section for this project is also easily identifiable from Big Creek Road to Arkport. The existing corridor is 4 lanes with wide shoulders, no curbing, wide grass medians, and a wide grass corridor. Most intersections are signalized. The I-86 interchange is within this section. The interchange was designed as a cloverleaf design, allowing free-flow movement from the interstate to the city. In this graphic, you can see the intersections of Big Creek, Route 21, and Webb's Crossing. Webb's Crossing has a higher than anticipated accident history, including at least 1 fatal accident. This photo is taken just north of Big Creek Road, traveling northbound along Route 36. At first glance, you could imagine this photo having been taken just up the road on I-86. It has a wide median, paved shoulders, and a high-speed feel. There are currently no means of traffic calming to keep speeds down through this section. This photo shows Webb's Crossing Road, which utilizes an atypical intersection design. The wide median requires offsetting left turn lanes and a double signal system to cross Route 36. Since original construction, we have seen increased commercial development in this area. These new businesses attract a higher volume of traffic than what the roadway was originally designed for. The next 2 slides show the transition of the 2 northbound lanes, with a posted speed of 55 miles per hour, reducing to a single lane with a posted speed of 40 miles per hour. The suburban transition area along Route 36 is of particular interest to New York State DOT engineers for the challenges and opportunities it offers. The transitional area is from Adsit Street to Big Creek Road. It includes retail development on both sides of the corridor, heavy left turns to and from the plaza and Bethesda Drive and Route 36. The Northern Plaza driveway at the Wegmans and Duncan end is a partial use intersection. We prohibit northbound left turns into this plaza entrance. One of our key focus areas in this stretch involves motorists' speed. With speed changes transition from 30 to 45 miles per hour and then 45 to 55 miles per hour and vice versa, we are trying to weigh the interests of those looking to speed up as they leave the city and those looking to slow down as they enter the city. All the while, this stretch of the corridor receives some of the greatest traffic volumes. This stretch of Route 36 also sees many pedestrians walking between the city and the plaza, many of whom are either employees at one of the plaza's businesses or a patron of that plaza's businesses. This area is unlit and does not have any dedicated pedestrian accommodations, but there is a clear need for them as seen by the well-worn path along Route 36. The next 3 slides show the transition for traffic heading northbound on Route 36. This first photo is at Adsit Street looking northbound. You see a narrow paved corridor with landscaped areas adjacent to the roadway. This photo is taken approximately a quarter mile further north at the existing bridge crossing the Canisteo River. At this point, the corridor opens and gives the impression that cars can accelerate to a higher speed. But what our studies have shown is that this location is where cars begin strategizing what lane they want to be in when they get to Bethesda Drive. If they are in the left lane, do they want to position themselves to either go straight, or do they want to use the right half of the left turn lane or left half of the left turn lane? Meanwhile, people exiting the city in the right lane are also trying to move left to access the plaza. Remember from earlier that approximately 50% of the afternoon traffic use the left turn lanes to access the plaza. At this point along Route 36, motorists have 4 choices when leaving the city. Continue straight, turn left into Walmart, turn left into Wegmans, or further ahead we add a northbound right turn lane to access North Hornell.
One question you may be wondering is, why even study the corridor? The answer to that is because our roadways can always be enhanced in some capacity. We are always asking, is this serving the community in a way that best meets our needs? Given the age of this corridor, how the community has evolved since its installation, and the interests of pedestrians and bicyclists, we are seeking to enhance a road and bridge system that will serve the community, improve safety on the corridor, better support the needs of the businesses in our community who need to get goods in and out of the city of Hornell, improve pedestrian and bicyclist movement along the corridor. Speed is a top concern. Currently, drivers regularly speed along the entire corridor, 40 miles per hour in the city, 55 miles per hour at Plaza, and 65 miles per hour north of Big Creek Road is not uncommon. And, as mentioned, we are seeing a large amount of pedestrian traffic along Route 36 where there are no real pedestrian accommodations, creating an unsafe situation for both motorists and these pedestrians. In that vein, not only can pedestrian accommodations to the plaza be improved, but multimodal accommodations throughout this entire corridor can be improved. For instance, is there anything that can be done about crossing the arterial at Cass and Elm Street? Motorists there often do not even see the pedestrians. Other intersections that can show safety concerns are at Webb's Crossing, Bethesda Drive, and Main Street. Interests of the community have changed, and this is an opportunity to discuss enhancing Hornell's bikeability and walkability. Reduce crashes. The Department of Transportation routinely hears these three locations called out. Webb's Crossing has a history of high-speed crashes. Reports show a concerning pattern of motorists running red lights as well as high-speed right-angle accidents. Bethesda Drive has a higher number of crashes than expected. These are a mixture of red light running, right-of-way assumption, meaning a driver incorrectly thinks they have the right-of-way to turn, and sideswipes from dual left turns. Cass and Elm Street have a high number of near misses. Cars turning right off Elm Street do not see a pedestrian in the crosswalk and must stop quickly. On the next few slides, we will outline various traffic control measures that could address the identified concerns and enhance the corridor. Again, these are simply tools we have available in our toolbox to enhance the corridor. Nothing has been decided. These 3 points boil down to one thing: safety. By addressing these issues, we will ensure that our entire community is safer for all residents, motorists, and pedestrians. On the next few slides, we will outline various traffic control measures that could address the identified concerns and enhance the corridor. Again, these are simply tools we have available in our toolbox to enhance the corridor. Nothing has been decided, and nothing will be decided without your input.
Full access at the Northern Plaza driveway. Currently, there is no northbound access to the plaza at the northern driveway. We believe this could alleviate some of the traffic that motorists experience at Bethesda Drive. Based on our studies, we believe this would divert about 35% of the traffic that currently turns left at Bethesda Drive to the next northern signal. Additionally, this would allow motorists to more conveniently access businesses at the plaza's northern end. Roundabouts. In our research, we considered the utility of roundabouts throughout the corridor. The use of a roundabout would eliminate the need for a traffic signal and construct a safer intersection. Roundabouts significantly reduce the severity of crashes and high-speed right-angle incidents. The installation of roundabouts would not be an all-or-none decision. If utilized, some intersections within the corridor would operate better with roundabouts versus signals, while others would retain signals and left turn lanes. Extension of the two-lane section. We also considered extending the two-lane section from Arkport further south along the corridor. We anticipate further studying this concept, but in theory, this design could be extended within the previously identified rural section north of Big Creek Road. Reducing the roadway width will allow the project to save on both the short-term construction costs and long-term maintenance costs. It also opens up the opportunity to potentially add a separated trail to improve recreational and multimodal accommodations. We do not believe extending the two-lane section into the urban section would offer much benefit to the community. Enhanced multimodal accommodations. As mentioned, the construction of a multi-use trail could open a multi-mile walking and bicycling trail. We are already seeing pedestrian traffic along the corridor. This would provide pedestrians and bicyclists with the safety necessary to commute along Route 36. With the adjacent Finger Lakes Trail and the Shawmut Trail, this could also expand recreational opportunities and improve the visual appearance of the corridor as you enter Hornell. The project has the potential to install parallel sidewalk systems along the corridor, seen on the slide here. This would reduce the number of roadway crossings and allow the north-south travel corridors off the circuitous city street network and improve mobility. The intersection of Cass and Broadway has a challenging signal and pedestrian operation. There currently is no ability for motorists to access Broadway from Route 36. In addition to making this intersection better for pedestrians, opening Broadway and Route 36 could potentially improve delivery and truck access to the manufacturing area of the city. As mentioned, speed throughout the corridor is a concern as motorists very frequently exceed the posted speed. With the increased volume of bicyclists and pedestrians along the corridor, speed reductions at this time are under consideration. Our proposal is to extend the 30-mile-per-hour zone toward Bethesda Drive and extend the 40-mile-per-hour zone toward Webb's Crossing.
Following this presentation, with your input as a member of our community, we will work to finalize our objective. What ideas do you have that you feel may improve this corridor for our community? What can we do to make Route 36 safer for everyone? Please let us know. Again, the dialogue does not end here. NYSDOT will continue to study the corridor, solicit feedback, and build on the conversations we have had with stakeholders, business leaders, members of our community, because that is how we will implement a project that works for everyone. Let's recap. As stated, nothing has been decided, and it is imperative to solicit input from the community, which is why we are here today. Everything discussed in this presentation is conceptual. That being said, there are known safety concerns along the corridor that deserve our attention to enhance the community. Additionally, we will not be utilizing the closed-door methods used by prior generations of DOT engineers. We fully believe that achieving the best solution engages the community early and often throughout the entire process. We will continue to work with all of you as we progress with this corridor enhancement. We also want to be mindful that we do not view this as a city project or a town project or a village project. This is a project for our entire community. People and businesses near the corridor, as well as people and businesses miles from the corridor, should be involved with getting the right project. Thank you for taking part in this presentation. Your time, consideration, and insight into our community is greatly appreciated as this project progresses.